Hey everybody, Raven here, and today we have an amazing video coming to you. $500 face value, 90%er, high quality mix of junk slash constitutional silver. There's everything in here from Roosevelt's, Mercury's, Walker's, Kennedy's. I'm just taking a guess because it's supposed to be a mix of a little bit of everything and high quality stuff as well. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to open the bag and give you an idea what's in here. We'll get it sorted out and then come back and show you the different denominations and varieties that we have that we're going to look through. Then we're going to highlight the best finds and break down each stack. Hopefully we find some really good stuff in here. I'm super excited because if you do not know, this is about $11,000 in constitutional or junk silver with today's going rates, maybe a little bit more in some places, a little bit less in some other places, but still, no matter what, $500 in face value. So let's get this open and see what is going on here. I have my special scissors. Okay, we got the bag is going to be prepped. Here we go. Let's pour some out onto the table. Oh, my friends, I already see a plethora of Walkers. There's Rosies. There's everything that one could possibly want in this bag. And let's get the whole thing on the table and see just how gorgeous this truly looks. And I see some, like it said on the bag, some pretty high quality, nice stuff in there. I gotta make sure it doesn't get mixed into anything. I'll pull this back just a little bit. But look at this, just the amount of silver that is in this bag is unbelievable, my friends. Oh, there's a couple coins left in there. We'll drop them out. All right, I see everything from Kennedy's to Benji's to Walker's, Mercs, and silver dimes. This is going to take a little while for me to sort all this out and figure out what we have. But when we do, we'll be back and we'll show you what's there. And then after that, we'll hopefully get some good finds. Raven Hot Coins, stay tuned. All right, everybody, so this is unbelievable, the amount of cool stuff that's in here. Matter of fact, I want to show you one of the finds that I got right off the bat here. A beautifully toned 1962 Franklin half dollar. That sucker is really cool. It's going to take me a little while to get through this, but I wanted to show you guys a little something. This is unbelievable. I have piles and piles over here. We got piles up here of half dollars, quarters, and dimes. And I'm really excited. I'm thinking hopefully we find something good. All right, everybody, another little update. So far, this has taken me about 40 minutes to get to this point. You can see the stack is quite a bit smaller. We're working our way through it. And we will return with the breakdown of the denominations and how much face value for each category and the different coins. So far, I found a couple SLQs. We've got Walkers, Benji's, Kennedy's, Mercury dimes, and Rosies in the mix. Very, very cool mix of coins, and I can't wait to show you what we have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting there. We've got all the Kennedy's, Benji's, Walkers, and quarters lined up. I still need to get through the Mercs and the Rosies, but to give you an idea, so far I'm about an hour plus into just getting things organized. I kind of know I said I would, come back when we had it all stacked, but I really wanted to come back and show you guys how amazing this is. Matter of fact, so far there's $100 face value in Walkers, $39 in Benji's, $69.50 in Kennedy's, $285 in Washington quarters. We got $1 in SLQs, and the rest is the Mercs. Look at how dirty these hands really are from doing this. We'll be right back. Raven Hot Coins, stay tuned. All right, everybody, we're back, and get this, ladies and gentlemen. You know how we are in the nest. We live by the hit squad: honesty, integrity, transparency. And what I have in front of me here, without counting this giant bag of Rosies and this giant bag of Mercs that are left, is $480.50. We have $100 in Walking Liberty halves. We have $69.50 in Kennedy's. We have $235 in Washington quarters and $1 in SLQs. And then we have $36 in Rosie dimes here. And that ends up being $480.50. I'm going to count these and see what we have left in here versus stacking it all out, because this was supposed to be a $500 bag. I'm not sure where the mistake was in the counting, but we're going to definitely find out how much is here and let you guys know. Then we'll go through the coins and see what we find as far as cool dates or any errors or whatnot. This is pretty interesting, but hey, honesty, integrity, transparency will make sure that every last piece of silver is accounted for, and definitely let the person know that, hey, you gave us substantially more than $500 in face value. Ravenhawk Coins, stay tuned. All right, everybody, so I got through all of this, and what we have in front of us, again, let's go over this one more time. I have $100 in Walking Liberty halves. I have $69.50 in Kennedy's, $39 in Franklin's, $235 in Washington quarters, $1 in SLQs, and then $36 in Rosie's sitting right here. In the bag of Mercury dimes, I counted $78.10. I have tick marks here. Every tick mark is a $5 face, so there's $75 plus $3.10. That's $78.10. And then I came up with another $58.70 in Rosie's in this bag. I put plus 36 for what's piled in front of us for a total of $94.70 in Rosie's. So if I do the math, and we can do this real quick, I have 100 plus 39 plus the dollar for the SLQs plus 69.50 plus 235 in quarters. Then we have the 36 in Mercury dimes stacked in front of us. Then we have $58.70 in the plastic bag. And then we have in Mercury dimes $78.10, which equals a total of $617.30 face value. I am amazed that this is over by $117.30. But now I'm going to take a look through some of these piles, and hopefully we find some great stuff. Whenever I do find something, I'll show you under the scope real quick. And this is pretty exciting. I can't wait to tell my friend that, hey, by the way, you gave me too much in that bag. And I'm sure they will be very happy that I was honest and went through the time to count it all out and figured out that there was literally $117.30 too much. And we're going to start with the Kennedys. If I find something really cool, I'll bring it back under the microscope. Ravenhawk Coins, stay tuned. Actually, I figured that we'll go through some Kennedys together. I'm going to turn on the scope right now, and hopefully we find something really cool. For the most part, we're just going to be looking at 64s and hoping that we find some doubling on there, or maybe if we get lucky, there's a proof in here that might have an accented hair. You can see right there, somebody's thumbprint's been on there for eternity. Look on the reverse, see if we find anything interesting, and so far nothing in there. And I'm going to keep putting these in a little plastic bag as we go along. Here we have a really nice looking 64. Again, we're hoping to find some actual doubling going on. And so far, nothing too spectacular. I don't expect to find much in the 64s. There are some varieties of doubling and tripling going on in some of them, but you know, that have to be pretty defined and not be machine doubling. It's got to be actual doubling to make it worth anything. And this one looks interesting, but not enough. That looks more like machine doubling on the 4. Nothing drastic. And so what I'm going to do is continue to look through these. And like I said, if I find a very obvious one, I will cut back in and show you guys what I got going on. We'll be back. All right, everybody, I'm to the last part of the Kennedys, so I wanted to go through the last little stack with you. I haven't found anything that sticks out in particular. No varieties, no doubling, none of that stuff. But I figured, you know what, every once in a while I should show you guys a stack of what I'm looking at, and I'd be really stoked if we found something together on the scope. But so far, and it's what I kind of figured to happen with the Kennedys, is you might find something with some doubling. You might even get lucky, get one of those triple ones or whatnot. And I should look at the reverse. I'm sorry, I just forgot to do that for everybody. But you're going to be able to find pretty quickly that, you know, the spots where the doubling happens is around the In God We Trust in 1964. It's where you're going to find it mostly. And if we look at the reverse, it'll be pretty darn obvious when we catch one if there is. And I don't remember offhand if there is a doubling on the reverse. I know there is quite a few variations of doubling on the obverse of a 64. This one's got some ding marks going on, some gouges in there. And I notice a majority have a thumbprint right in the center of Kennedy's head, which is interesting to say the least. But this is wrapping it up on the $69.50 of Kennedy's. We got the last two. And it looks like we didn't find anything that really sticks out per se. But still fun to search. And we've got quite a bit to go through. The next thing that we'll search will be the the Franklin halves. And then we'll go to the Walkers and so on. Matter of fact, let's start off with a couple Benjis. And the Benjis, we're hoping to find maybe a key date or something in there. You just never know. Matter of fact, I need to get some of this out of the way real quick so I keep it in line. We're starting off, we'll throw the scope back on so that you can see what we're looking at. A lot of these coins are really high quality as far as the condition and everything in these. It'd be neat to find maybe something with full bell lines or some doubling. You just never know. This is a 1958 Denver. Everything looks pretty sharp on here. Let's see if we see some full bell. It has some nice bell lines, but definitely not a full bell line on it. And we're going to go to the next one. Looks like we have another 58. And this one is another Denver. This one is a little bit rougher shape, but we have a 1963 up next. And we're also looking for that 55 Bucktooth Bugs Bunny one. The 63 is pretty nice, but a little bit circulated. And I don't think you're going to see full bells on that. We have another 1958. Oops, let me get it in the right spot here. And this looks to have possibly a little bit of machine doubling on it. As you can see on the 8, that shadow there. But the reason I say machine is if you look at it, it looks kind of scooped. Kind of like a skateboard ramp. It has this kind of scoop where what happens is the press comes down and it slightly moves like this. And there's so much pressure under there that it'll give you that little bit of a scooped effect, or what they call a poor man's doubling. But nothing special to write home about. We have another 58 here. And it looks like we've got a majority of 58s so far. But still in great condition, you know, as far as finding Benjis in a big old bag of 90% silver. This one you can see it's got a little bit of a thumbprint across the face. But this would still be considered nicer graded, or nicer silver than what you see a lot of times when you're going around looking for just constitutional stuff. Again, we got that interesting, well, that looks like there's something really going on there. Right there at the 8, Let me see where my little tool is. Well, you know what? I'll just use a pin cap. I'll make it easy. Right there, it looks like there's something going through the middle of that 8 right there. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to put that aside as a find and do a little research and see what that could be. The next one, see if we look at that 58. Well, you know what? Now that I'm getting a different shadow. Oh, I got a shadow is what it is. My bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep on searching. If I find anything cool, I'll bring you in on it. Ravenhawk Coins, stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple things to show you in the Benjis. We got some key date and semi-key date action going on. So let's turn on the scope here, and I will show you those. We have a 1948. And that was a Denver. So that's a cool find. We have a couple 1955s, which are considered key date. And this is a 55. They're both 55 Phillies, I believe, because that was the date we're looking for. Sorry, I got this upside down and backwards on you. Here, I'll show you the next 55 reverse first to show you it's a Philly like it should be. And right there, 55, so a couple cool key dates. And then we have different 49s. The 49 is also considered a key date, 1949 San Francisco. 1949 Denver, another of the key dates. The 49s for some reason are sought after. Here we go, another 1949 with a Denver mint. And then the last but not least, we have another 49 to show you. Oops, I turned it upside down. And this one is San Francisco. So pretty cool. We got some cool ones. Oh, and then we had one really nice toned one. Put it under the scope, see if it'll catch it. Look at that, 1962. That has some really cool toning going on it. So not too shabby. At least we got some finds in the Benjis, the Franklin halves. And now we'll move on to the walking libs. Hopefully we get something good out of those as well. We're looking for some key dates. And we have $100 to look through, so there's quite a bit. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's start off. I'll show you the part of the first stack that we have here. So we'll go back under the scope, and we'll see what we have here. We have a 1939, and it's a Denver. And you know what? I don't remember all the key dates for all coins out there, but if I remember in the 30s for walking libs, a lot of the 30s coins are a little bit nicer, but let me double check here real quick. This is a 39 Denver. I might be wrong. Nope, there's 4.2 million of these. It would have been nice if it was a 38 Denver. You know, we're looking for a 46 if we can get a double die. Anything from 1916 Philly D or S is going to be great. 1917, you got the obverse mint marks and stuff. So there's a few things. 1919 D, 1919 S, and we're going to keep our eyes out. Hopefully we can pull some of those really cool key dates. Let's look at the next one up for grabs here. 1942, that's a rather common one. And let's see what the mint mark on it is. 1942 Philly. So we know that's normally not going to really be anything special as far as a walking lib. But I'm going to double check just in case on the 40s to see if there's any dates there that would be a little bit nicer. Nope. All right, so let's see what we have on the next coin up. We have a 1945, another common date. And that one's a San Francisco. Always cool to find stuff from San Francisco in a pile, especially out here in Oklahoma. We got a lot of Denver minted stuff. This one has a little bit of toning on the obverse. Not a bad looking coin. Another 42S. Then we have a 44. I think it's an S. Nope, there's no mint mark. Man, my eyes played tricks on me for that one. And right there, 1944. And the one thing I wanted to point out is you can see on here there's some red paint. A lot of times back in the days, the vendors would have the waitresses, have coins that are in red, and the waitresses would pull those coins back out because they were the ones that influenced that purchase or sale at that time. So it's kind of cool when you see them with paint on them because that's a little bit of a little historic thing going on. But either way, really, really cool. All right, I'm going to get through here and see if I find any key dates and let you know. We'll be back. All right, everybody. So we got through the SLQs. We had two SLQs. The dates were kind of worn. I meant to say we got through the walkers. The two SLQs was a 25 and a 26, but they're pretty worn. So, not going to have a lot of value to them, but it was cool to see them. And they're actually right here. I put them in the little bag already, but only two of them. Now we're going to go through the Washington quarters, and, I'm looking through there. What we're looking for in key date, let me take a look here in the book real quick because, well, I don't remember every last date, I wish I could. But for in silver quarters, we want to see if we found a 1950 with an S over a D or D over S. So all the 50s will pull aside. 43S double die obverse, 43 double die, and a 42D. 1940 Denver is a key date. 39S and the 38S. And of course, if we were lucky to find any of the 32D or S's or 1934 with a double die, a lot of those would be really hard to find. And if somehow we got super lucky and found a 37 double die obverse, we'd be doing really well. So we're going to take a look through some of these with you guys and see what we have real quick. We'll put it under the scope. And first pile here, let's see what we have in the way of Washington quarters. Now I noticed a lot of 64s were in the mix, and of course the 64s are going to look really nice because that was one of the most heavily minted silver quarter years ever in production. So a lot of people, especially during that time, hoarded the 64s, pulled them aside, so you get so many of them that look really, really nice. And I know some of you are going to say, well, there's some cherry picker guide items in the 60s and whatnot. And you know what? If I come across something that's really interesting like that, of course, I'll pull it aside. And so far, the majority I've seen, we've hit a run of all 1964. These two are 64. Here's an older one. We got a 44. We'll see if it has a mint mark. 44 Denver. So let's double check and see if that's got anything special. 44 Denver. Nope, that's run of a mill. But only 14 million of them minted, so kind of cool to find one in the 40s. But the rest, again, it seems like we're hitting a run of 64s here. But you just never know. That's the beauty of doing these kind of searches, is that you might find that one diamond in the rough, so to speak. And honestly, the rest of these are all 64 in this pile here. So I'm going to keep looking. Hopefully we find some good stuff in the rest of the stacks we got here. And keeping those fingers crossed. We still have Mercs and Rosies to do. I know this is a super long video, but hey, we're talking $617.30 of face value. Extra $117.30 on the plate. All right, we'll return really soon. All right, everybody. So we gotten through all the quarters, and the only older dates that we found, believe it or not, and it kind of surprised me, is a 1944 Denver, a 1937 Denver, and a 45. These are pretty worn out. This one's a Philly. Matter of fact, the reverse on that is pretty low ball. But it's still fun to look through all of this. And now we have the Rosies and the Mercs to get through. And I'll start off with some of the Rosies that we have here stacked in front of us. I'll go through the Rosies. I'll make the Mercs be the last because I honestly think the Mercs are going to be our best chance at getting some really cool stuff. As far as Roosevelts, there's not a lot of them that are worth that much, but sometimes you can get something that's really nice. That's a 64 that's a little bit hadn't seen better days, and I think this is going to be kind of like the quarters. A majority of these will probably be 64s. Because that's kind of what happens when you buy big bags of big bags of 90% constitutional silver. A majority of the stuff has already been looked at. You know, they're looking for the key dates as well when you have coin shops and stuff. But sometimes you can get lucky. I have seen people pull, early Mercuries and especially some 1916 S's and whatnot, but it'd be incredible to find a 1916 Denver. That would be pretty much hitting the jackpot lottery of dime searches there. And so far, it looks like these are a majority of in the 60s. We had one there in the 50s. And dimes take a lot of looking, and I'm glad I have a scope, because without a scope, I'd be in trouble. We're going to look through these and see if we get anything in this pile and also this big bag here. And if we do, we'll show you the highlights. And if not, we'll come back and we'll start with the Merc Dimes. Be back soon. All right, everybody, we're back. You can see how dirty these hands are from searching so many coins. And we have $78.10 of Mercury Dimes to get through. This is the longest regular video I've ever made, and I'm just hoping to find something really cool in this sack here. Like I said, a lot of this, when you do constitutional searches, you just don't always get to pull the really good stuff, but hey, this has been a lot of fun so far. Let's open up this bag here and look under the scope at a couple of them just to see if maybe we'll find something live. And if not, then I will pause it and see what I find and come back with something good, hopefully. Got the fingers crossed. But let's check it out under the scope here. See if there's anything that we see that catches our eye. Right now we're starting off with a 1940, pretty common date. And no mint marks, so a Philly. But definitely would be nice to find some full split bands. I did see some nicer examples in this bag than what we have here so far, but honestly, these aren't too bad for 90% silver. These all have clear dates, clear good detail to them. They haven't been cleaned or dipped or anything strange. That's a 43 Denver, and like I said, I kind of expect to go through this, and like this one has some spotting. We call that the Dalmatian dime. And but it's the fun of the search is mainly what this is about. It's nice to have a good bag of constitutional silver, of course, just in case anything happens. You definitely want some smaller denominations to be able to trade and barter if that were the case. All right, I'm going to keep looking through this, and if I find something good, I'll return and show it. Ravenhawk Coins, stay tuned. All right, everybody. Well, we've gotten through the entire stack of Merc Dimes, and there were no real key dates in there. There was one 1916 S, but it was really beat up, and in that condition, it's only worth a couple dollars. So I just tossed it back into the big old pile and kept looking, and this was a lot to go through. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're not discouraged by any means of checking through what you buy, especially double checking what you've actually paid for, because sometimes the guy that made the bag could make a mistake. You could end up like us, $117 ahead. And in the end, I kind of got frustrated, and I went like this with the coins, so they're not in any real order anymore, because there was literally the one 1916. The rest was all mostly 42, 43, 44, 45. There's some in the 30s and whatnot, but for the most part, it there wasn't really anything to show that would be a real highlight. These coins are mostly worth about $1.80 to $2.20, depending on the shop that you're buying from and what they have them at face value. So I thought it'd be fun to just show it again in a nice big pile at the end, since I didn't have anything to highlight. But I had a lot of fun doing this, and I will do this again in the near future. I'm probably going to try to be specific towards like certain denominations. Like maybe we'll do a Benji search, we'll do a Walker search, we'll do a Merc search that has a big face value to it. But I think when you do that, you have a little bit more chance of finding things. $70 plus of Merc dimes is a lot to look through. But if you had, let's say, $500 in Merc face value, now you're talking where you might really find something substantial and something really cool. Same thing for the half dollars and the quarters and whatnot. Hoping that maybe the next quarter search I pull a bunch of SLQs or maybe some barbers or something that'd be nice and key date. Either way, if you want to correspond, it's ravenhawkcoins@gmail.com. Our P.O. Box is 721-296 Norman, Oklahoma 73070. Like always, please make sure to take care of one another, and we'll see you real soon. Ravenhawk Coins, have a great day.